We are farmers. Dun, 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 dun. We are starting in 3, 2. Ken folk, what is good? It's your girl Ken, and I welcome you either back or for the first time to this space, which is the Keys and Seeds podcast. It's been a while since I have shown up for this space, and we're going to talk about it, but I don't want it to be like a super drawn out explanation, right? Only because I believe in leaving the past in the past, and I really just want to jump back into the swing of things because obviously if I'm showing back up for this space, it's for a reason. It's for a very intentional reason, right? Like everything that I do has intention behind it. But at the same time, as I am someone who strives to be more integral, right? Like I'm not going to just show back up and then act like nothing happened, right? And what I mean by more integral is, right, like we're going to have a conversation about why I stepped away from the pod, but also too, just speaking on integrity, right? Like I strive to be a very integral person, but truthfully, am I one of those people that be abusing or misusing company time while at my 9 to 5? Sure. You feel me? But like for the most part though, like I've always been very honest and transparent about who I am and what I stand for. And like with me, there's never any hidden motives. It's never I'm not able to be honest and truthful. Like it's never been that. So that's also part of the reason why I'm showing back up for this space. So yeah, let's get into it. But before we do that, really, really quickly, if you're tuning in visually, I want to acknowledge this backdrop behind me. And behind me is a vinyl wall that I have up in my very first apartment. I am sitting on a couch that my community helped purchase for my very first apartment. Like, make some noise, y'all. You feel me? Like, y'all know that sexy red meme, but, yeah, like I'm really just excited. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I am in a really great space. I am in a grounded space. And long story short, I just feel called to show back up for this space. And the way in which I am going to be showing up for this space moving forward is going to look very differently. And we're going to talk about that. But just know the pod is back. Okay. And yeah, let's talk about it. So it's been a year. It's coming up on a year since I walked away from the pod. And truthfully, I did not plan on walking away from the pod to begin with. Like I stopped showing up for the pod while in the middle of making my way through a series that I presented in the last pod season, right? Like I didn't even finish that series. Like I didn't even properly close out that season the way in which I planned and intended to, right? So me stepping away from the pod was very abrupt. It was not planned. And me coming back quite literally a year later also was not planned. But I think it says a whole lot that as I now feel called to show back up for this space, I'm able to reflect back and I'm like, dang, like it's quite literally been exactly a year since I initially stepped away. And again, I didn't plan on stepping away, but also too with that, I didn't plan to step away for a year and exactly a year at that. So again, the past is the past, but let's talk about it so we can, you feel me, move forward. And obviously I want to catch y'all up to speed with, you feel me, like where I've been, what I've been learning, and, you know, just who and where I am now with, you feel me, this energy that I'm in now. Because obviously, you feel me, like with me recording in my very first apartment, like we are in a new season, quite literally. So I have my notes in front of me. Y'all know I like to ramble, but I want to keep things, you know, concise, and I don't want to forget anything that I feel is important to mention. So please hold. Okay, so obviously I dropped a bonus episode within, you know, this window of time that I've been away from the pod, and that bonus episode was a conversation that was recorded that was had at a event that I hosted, which was for the premiere of my music video for my single Affirmation. So if you haven't tuned into that episode, and if you haven't tuned into that music video and that song, make sure you go do that, right? So I do want to acknowledge that that was a piece of content that I did release within this space. But as far as me like formally releasing podcast episodes, right, like it's been a minute since I've done that. And again, you feel me? Like me stepping away was not planned at all. But as far as why I stepped away, right? Honestly, long story short, you feel me? Without even like reading too much of my notes, I felt like this pod was consuming so much of my life, and it was consuming more of my time and energy and effort and attention than I intended for it to. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, if you know me, you know that I've always been very passionate about music, but I also too have been very aware of the fact that my voice plays a huge role in my purpose and my calling and the way in which I show up in this world, right? Like my voice and my words, my thoughts, like they are a very, like they're the center of quite literally everything that I do for the most part, right? So for me, you know what I'm saying, like that shows up in a number of ways, but like the way in which that shows up that I'm like the most passionate about is me writing and sharing my voice through the creation of music, right? And so music for me has always been number one. However, I have always been a fan of long form content. And two, I have always felt like at times I feel limited with the music. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to share more. Like I have so much more to like say and share. And I love connecting with people. I love having conversations with people, but I love having conversations with people where like we getting deep. You know what I'm saying? Like I am the type of person, like I possess so much depth, and I feel like in my day to day, or if you just listen to a 4-minute, 5-minute song, right? Or even a 15-minute project, make sure y'all go get Fourgiven EP out now, right? Like even with that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I still have so much more to say and share. And part of the reason why I'm showing back up for this space now is really just to honor myself and my own voice. I feel like a lot of times I allow my own voice to be stifled, and I'm honestly just done waiting for other people to invite me into sharing more of what it is I have to say, because quite honestly, I feel like I am deeply misunderstood, and I am not seen or heard nearly as much as I would like to be. And so me taking, responsibility for that, that's also part of the reason why I'm, showing back up for this space. So with that said though, you feel me? Like initially when I was showing up for this space, I was putting an unnecessary amount of pressure on myself to show up and to show up in a way where I felt like me being consistent with this pod had to look a particular type of way, right? Like I went from dropping weekly to then also dropping monthly, and I still felt like that was overwhelming. I felt like I could do monthly, just dropping an episode a month. But the fact of the matter is, the pod itself became a whole nother like business and brand for me to manage. There's so much that goes into setting up the audio, the visual, planning an episode, editing the audio and the visual, clipping up the content, creating captions for the reels. Like it became this whole production that I did not want it to be. And I felt like the pod very quickly became something that demanded more of my time and attention and focus. And it felt like there was no room for the music. And for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, music has always been my number one thing. You feel me? Like when I think of how the pod and the music both share space in my heart, right? Like I think of someone like a Flau'jae Johnson, right? Shout out to Flau'jae. With her, right? Like she has made it very clear for her it's both music and basketball. Like she's not choosing one over the other. But for me, very quickly, music, you know what I'm saying? But the pod, I have always wanted to do a podcast because, again, I have always felt, like somewhat limited and restricted. And as someone who is a fan of long form content and just having, conversations with people that go beyond the surface, like I always knew that I wanted a pod and I wanted another additional space that's an extension of who I am as a person in my artistry. But I feel like I've been trying to figure out in real time what that space looks like. So kind of sort of jumping ahead as far as like what you can expect from this space and what you can expect this space to look like moving forward, right? Like I quite literally am only going to show up for this space when I feel like I have something of value to share, something that I feel like is pressing enough to do a full length, you know what I'm saying, like podcast style type of, you feel me, piece of content for it. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, there's not going to be necessarily like a set schedule with the pod. Just know that like I'm going to be sporadically yet periodically like showing back up in this space when I feel like I really have something pressing to share and I want to just unpack with y'all. So that is that. But yeah, like in the past, like as I was going through the past pod season, I quite literally just felt like I was striving and long story short, just felt like I was not in alignment. And really, it was burnout. It was burnout that I then came to the realization of. And I was like, yeah, I can't keep showing up for this space, especially in the way in which I'm showing up for it, because it's now feeling forced. It's now feeling like a weight that God never intended for me to bear. You get what I'm saying? So it's like at that point, if you aren't even showing up authentically, if you aren't even showing up in a way where it feels aligned and it's flowing, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And quite literally, like I have just been asking myself that question as it applies to literally every area of my life. So in the meantime, in between time, you know what I'm saying? Like in my personal life, on a internal level, I've been just becoming more in alignment with God and God's will for me. And long story short, your girl is at peace. Your girl is super blessed. Like I said, I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? Like just for all of the blessings that God has been, trusting me with to steward. Like I said, I am in my very first apartment. I've been here now going on 4 months. I'm in a good place now with my career. I celebrated a year of getting into the trades. I am currently an electrical apprentice. I am in school to be an electrician. I just started my classes. Up to this point, I've just been like working and, getting the hours and, the experience of being in the field. I was what they consider an electrician helper, but now I'm actually an apprentice because your girl is initiated into like the schooling part of it. So now like that's also another thing I'm having to balance. So y'all, like, even though I am a single woman with no children and happy about it too, you know what I'm saying? Like, not to get too off topic, but Easter just passed and I was around family, and the first thing that was out folks' mouth was, Kennedy, how you been? You married? You got children now? No. Ken is single and happy with no children. Ken is single with no children and happy. Let's talk about it. Let's wake it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be another episode. But honestly, y'all, I am just in such a good space right now. Like, it's quite literally just me and God. And I love that for me. I love that for me. But like, I say that to say, like, even though I am single and I have no children, you feel me? So I don't gotta, you feel me, stress and worry about a man. I don't gotta stress and worry about no kids that I gotta come home to. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though people think sometimes like, oh, like, you're single, you don't have any children. Like, what is all your time, you know, filled up with? Or like, why are you so tired? Like, why do you feel like you have so much to manage and juggle? Because I do. You feel me? Like, I work blue collar now. So I work more than 40 hours a week. Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I work full time. I'm also now having to balance that with going to school alongside of going to work. So I get off work and then I go to school. So it's like my whole day is already accounted for. You know what I'm saying? And like, school is very like minimal, right? But like, both work and school, it takes up a large chunk of my time, right? I still gotta sleep. I still gotta eat. You feel me? I'm also in this space of trying to, you know, eat better and learn how to cook. I grew up in a household where we ate out a lot. So truthfully, your girl don't know how to cook. But I'm in my own space now, and that's going to change. So it's fine. Not too much on me. You feel me? But obviously, it's going to take time for me to get comfortable with being in a kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Cooking a meal with love, that takes time. Grocery shopping, that takes time. Me being passionate about the music, that takes up my time. Me now showing back up for this pod is going to take up my time. Not to mention, I also got to be a daughter, a sister, a friend. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on now, y'all. Come on now, y'all. You feel me? Like, it's only so many hours in a day, in a week, in a month. I am officially at the point of adulting where, babes, if you trying to go on a lunch date, we gotta low-key plan that like a month in advance. Ken, what you doing on July? Babes, I gotta check the calendar. Not gonna hold you. Ken, you free next week? Nope. The week was already accounted for last month. Like, that is quite literally where I am at right now. And I don't know how I got there, but yeah, that's where I've been. That's where I've been. So because I didn't officially like end the last season, like properly, right? Like the past pod season, like the previous pod season, I was intentionally reflecting on my discography as an artist, all of the work that I have released up to this point. And I really was just wanting to explore, you know, just the themes that I've been able to, you know, recognize a pattern in, you know, themes that consistently show up in my work. And I really just wanted to intentionally like reflect on my work as I've been able to like grow and mature from being the past versions of myself that created the work that I was reflecting on. And yeah, so like, I'm not going to take time to continue to sit with each individual song or project as I was doing in that previous episode, you know, just for the sake of time and just wanting to move forward. But I did want to intentionally like tie up that end, while also too bringing it to the relevance of me just recently releasing a new EP again, Fourgiven, out now by Kyndl. Forgiven spelled like the number 4. It's a play on words because a theme within the project is forgiveness, but with it being titled Forgiven, it's for giving, it's for songs. Y'all catch it later. So just really quickly, like some consistent themes that I've been like noticing in my work is faith. My faith has always been something that I have explored through my work from the very, very beginning. So with Forgiven now being, you know, a project where like my faith and where I stand with it being like at the forefront of the project, right? Like if you're someone who's not too familiar with my work, you might be like, oh, like where is this coming from? You a Christian rapper now? When really it's like if you've been paying attention or if you take the time to reflect back, like it's really not anything left field. Like I have been wrestling with my faith and just allowing my faith to be a topic of conversation within my music. Like that has been a thing from the very beginning. So a consistent theme in my music for sure has been faith, as well as grief. And with that specifically, I tend to explore like my relationship woes and just the ways in which I connect with people, like the connections that I have with people or the lack thereof. I noticed that that's a consistent theme within my work as well. Like a single that I recently released is titled Familiar. And what inspired that song was a friendship breakup. It was so easy for me to write from that place because it was a very real emotion and it was a strong emotion to where like it had to move through me and move out in the form of me penning, you feel me? Like what just happened. And so that's something that I noticed as well. And also too, I've been exploring my identity and how that then, you know, connects to my confidence or the lack thereof. I feel like as an artist, there has always been this pressure of just like, you know, turning it on. And, you know, like if I'm doing a show, like I'm not just going to stand up there like a stick figure like Summer Walker was on them red carpets. You feel me? Like I'm a fake it till I make it, essentially. You know what I'm saying? But like, have I always been the most confident person? No. Right? But like, have I always been passionate about any and everything that I put my mind to? Absolutely. So I really commend myself for being the type of person who is not afraid to be honest about who I am and where I am, you know, through my work, especially as we live in a time where, you know, a lot of people like what Andre 3000 said, right? Like, y'all don't hear me. Y'all just want to dance, right? Like a lot of people, they want the club, turn up, party type music. You feel me? A lot of artists, they feel the pressure to create that type of music because that's what's selling. Sex is selling. You know what I'm saying? But like, I've never been that type of person. Like if you truly, truly know me, you know that I've always been a very introspective, you know, type of person. And so my music can only be a reflection and an extension of who I am as a person. My music is something that I go to and I return to whenever I'm navigating those themes that I just mentioned in real time. You know what I'm saying? Like music for me has always been an outlet. Music for me has always been a space that I genuinely, you know, run to in order to like process what I'm dealing with emotionally and spiritually, you know, like internally. And so for me, like that's why my music and like just the craft itself is just very important to me, because it's not necessarily a hobby. It's not necessarily something that I'm pursuing, for the sake of a platform or anything like that. Like, if I am not creating, your girl is depressed. Your girl is self-destructing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I quite literally have to create. Like, I am a creative. I am an artist. Like, I shared in the past that I took a spiritual gifts test, and one of the top gifts on that list was music. Like, I literally have a gift for music. Like, it is a calling. You get what I'm saying? Like, I have came to, the conclusion and like accepted the fact that like I'm very prophetic, and the way in which my voice wants to show up in this world as a prophet is through creating music. Like, there's quite literally a book of songs within the Bible. So yeah, like I'm just grateful though that because the music has always been a reflection of who and where I am now, I am so like proud of this EP that I just dropped, because one, like I'm proud of myself as an artist and as a creative, because sonically I can hear my growth, right? But knowing that like the way in which I show up as an artist again is directly connected to who I am as a person, right? Like, I'm able to also then to pick up on how I've been able to grow and mature as a person in real time, right? The person creating the art. But with this EP that I just dropped, like, it's so special to me because it reflects how much I've grown and matured in my faith, how much I've matured in my sound as an artist. And this all too is just a reflection of how much I've grown and matured as a woman, bro. And again, that's also part of the reason why I want to show back up for this space, because I have so much more to reflect on and share with y'all. And I'm just excited. I'm just excited. So as I wrap this episode up, I just want to let y'all know, you feel me? I am denouncing misalignment. I am denouncing disconnected from my mind and my body. Being disconnected from my body and just merely being in my mind. Like, both are truly becoming integrated now. I have greater awareness now. I'm more grounded. That prefrontal cortex, frontal lobe. Yeah, that baby, the brain been clicking. Okay. I will be 28 this year. So I'm still in my 20s, still navigating my 20s. But there's a huge difference between 2.8 and 1.8. You feel me? Like, yeah, let's get into it. I'm in the later half of my 20s, and yeah, just with where I am too in my life as an adult, I have a lot more to lose now. You feel me? Like, the stakes are higher. Again, my capacity, I have less capacity and I have less time now. So, yeah, again, anything y'all see me do is with intention for sure. And I'm denouncing pressure. I'm denouncing busyness and distractions. And I'm just at a place now where I have greater maturity and I'm aware of the responsibility that I have, all that I have to steward, just with the blessings that I've named, my voice, my platform. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's really just me and God, for real. And I really just want to invite y'all on this journey with me through my music, through me showing back up for this pod. And, yeah, like I just need ease and I need authenticity. Whatever is not flowing and pouring into me, it gots to go. It gots to go. Again, I quite literally just don't have the time. I don't have the capacity for anything that is not purposeful and, in alignment with where God wants me and what God has me doing. So, again, no rigid, set schedule with this pod. It's not even a set schedule with the music. You feel me? Like, I never told y'all can expect a new song from me every week, every month. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just know that if this is out at the moment, this is what we pushing and promoting. If Ken is quiet, if Ken is silent right now, Ken is busy living life, or she's busy, you feel me, in an isolation season, just being more intentionally refined. And when I pop back out, just know that I'm gonna pop back out, and I'm gonna pop back out with intention. I'm not gonna pop back out with no BS. You feel me? So yeah, I just want to say I'm grateful for those of you who are on this journey with me. Again, those of you who have been on this journey with me, those of you who have been, like somewhat following the journey, but not too familiar with what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that this allowed you to, you feel me, catch up to speed with, you feel me, who and where I am now. And if you're new here, hey, hola, ¿cómo estás? So yeah. I didn't want to make this episode too long, but I did want to check in with y'all. And again, because I am in my first apartment, you feel me? Like, if you tuning in visually, just know that this backdrop, this space, you feel me, this very, very comfy space, it's my space of peace. And so with that said, you can expect to see some consistency with me being right here whenever I show up for this space. And so again, that is all I have for y'all. Fourgiven EP out now. I love y'all. The next episode, I'm gonna actually sit and like talk about that more, the EP itself. So I'm very excited. And then of course, moving forward, I'm just gonna have more intentional conversation about the music that I'm releasing, but also too just inviting y'all in on this journey that I'm in, or that I'm on, as I continue to grow and evolve, not only as an artist, but as a woman, as a believer, more importantly. And yeah, so I'll catch y'all when I catch y'all. And again, thank you for being here. And I think that's all I have for right now. I love y'all. Stay blessed. Get your life right with God. And I will see y'all in the next episode. Peace.